The bangle is back and your wrist is about to have its moment. One-of-a-kind bangles at one-of-a-kind prices. Get ready to act fast and get yours. Hello and welcome to the Luxe Jewelry Edit. I'm Elizabeth Maneri, and I have to say I am so excited to bring back a piece of jewelry that has not had its full appreciation for a few years now. The bangle is back, and I have some really beautiful, one-of-a-kind, unique takes on a bangle that you are not going to want to miss. If you are new to the Luxe Jewelry Edit, I want to make sure and warn you, we pick a special showstopper and it makes an appearance sometime throughout the show. So make sure you are sticking around. You are not going to want to miss today's. Also, a reminder, everything I'm showing you today is not just a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry, but I'm bringing it to you at a one-of-a-kind Luxe Jewelry Edit exclusive price. What does that mean? That means you are going to want to shop quickly. So whatever you're watching on, familiarize yourself with the interface. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see a link in the description below. If you're on Gems Plus, you're going to see a QR code to scan, a link, and a telephone number. But however is your preferred way to shop, make sure you are ready to go, because pieces like this one I'm about to show you are not going to be here probably even when the show ends. Now we are starting today with, I'm showing you these two together because when I saw them, my first thought was, how perfect would these be for the very hot trend right now of stacking bracelets? Delicate, thin, subtle, but then the diamonds, and in the case of the yellow gold, yellow diamonds, which is just absolutely exquisite. Such a decadent stone to wear. I think because of its exclusivity, we don't see a lot of it. But look at these two together. These two bracelets together are absolutely beautiful. Now, I talk all the time about how much I love to mix metals. It is probably one of my favorite things to do. I don't know that I am ever head to toe in just one color of metal, because I think the minute we pair metals, each of the metals in its unique qualities becomes more beautiful. So a white gold is always going to be slightly cooler. It tends to give off a higher polish because of that cool tone. Your yellow gold or even your rose gold is always going to have a warmer hue to it. That golden yellow makes it a little bit of a softer color. When we put them side by side, those qualities are enhanced, and they are enhanced in the most beautiful way possible. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put them on my wrist. How beautiful. They are each so slender. My first thought is they just look like a slender, gentle little dancer, and they kind of dance around on your wrist. You know, one of the things I think that is so unique about a bangle bracelet, and the reason we're seeing such a resurgence in its popularity, is nothing quite dances on your wrist like a bangle. So look at the way the stones and the bangles kind of dance on my wrist, holding their shape. They never really lose what makes them stand out. A lot of times with a bangle also, you're gonna have an easier time keeping the stones or whatever the focal piece of that particular bangle on the top, because it's not sliding. Again, it's got a little bit of a more solid structure. You'll definitely see the yellow gold is a slightly wider circle than the white gold, but look at how beautiful they look together. And the way the stones, so with the yellow gold, we of course are seeing a yellow diamond. We have just under a ½ carat of yellow diamond, and we have a little over a ¼ carat of diamond on the white gold. The yellow gold is 18 karat yellow gold. The white gold is also 18 karat in the white gold. But look at how pretty they look next to each other. Now, that does not mean you couldn't wear them alone. So let's go ahead and focus on each piece individually, but I did just really want to show you what a beautiful pairing they would make. And stacking bracelets right now is possibly one of the hottest trends we're seeing in jewelry, certainly the hottest trend that we're seeing when it comes to bracelets. So if you were to have a bangle, which is definitely an up and coming trend, add it with stacking, you are going to be on the absolute hottest jewelry trends, specifically for bracelets that are going on this summer. Another thing I love about bangles for the summer specifically, I don't know about anyone else, I live in Charleston. It is hotter than anything. So there is also something about a bangle that feels a little bit lighter than other bracelets. So a bracelet that's going to sit or lie flush against my wrist, something that's a little bit heavier, even cuffs sometimes, which I love year round, but in the summer, sometimes they can feel a little bit suffocating just because it is so warm. So a bangle is a great way to add a bit of sparkle, add some jewelry to your wrist, but again, you don't have that kind of heavy, weighty presence. This bangle specifically would be great for that. So here I am showing you again, a little over a 1/4 carat of diamond. It is 18 karat white gold. And now here, let's go ahead and take a look at the yellow gold. And again, we have almost a 1/2 carat of yellow diamond. And I always say there's something so decadent about a yellow diamond. And paired with the yellow gold, this is just a beautiful example. A lot of times I talk about the contrast in the color of a stone and the color of a metal. This is a really beautiful example though of when we take the warm yellow hue of the diamond and then mix it with that warm yellow hue of a yellow gold. How beautiful. Almost creates kind of a monochromatic look. That little bit of yellow too, I think makes it a little more tropical, a little more exotic. Perfect for summer. I think for the price point, you could easily purchase both and use them as a stack. For the yellow gold and yellow diamond, this bracelet can be yours for $2,131. Just over $2,000, $2,131. And for the white gold and diamond, it's $2,044. So for well under $5,000, you could have both of these bracelets. Hot summer trend, stacking bangles, yellow diamond and white diamond. This next bangle is set in 18 karat white gold, and it is a really beautiful, has kind of a modern vibe to it. So you're gonna see baguette cut diamonds paired with round diamonds. I love the way with this bracelet, we've done kind of a double rail or a stacked rail instead of just doing the one band going all the way across. It is those little details, those little choices that as a jewelry maker or a designer, an artisan, you're having to make day in and day out. And I think it's probably so easy for jewelers and designers to maybe fall into a rut or take the easy way out, certainly when you're mass producing pieces, you know, to just kind of keep doing the same thing over and over again. One of the things I love best about everyone we work with here at Gems is you never see that. Our artisans, our jewelers, they are trying new things. They are trying to outdo themselves. They are bringing you the best of the best, not just in our metals, not just in the stones they're sourcing, but in the actual artistry and design and craftsmanship that they're making their jewelry with. And I just appreciate that so much, especially because I'm then able to pass it on to you as the viewer. So here, the way they've kind of stacked these two, so you've got two essentially delicate bangles, but we've stacked them one on top of the other. So now you're getting that little bit closer to a cuff style feel, even though it's the two individual very delicate bands. I love this little ribbon tie, if you will, for lack of a better word, that kind of brings them together. Again, we could have just brought them together here in the center, but by putting this on either side, it sort of draws your eye in. So it really brings your eye into the focal point and really accentuates that. So I love that little extra design detail. It also gave a surface space for a few more diamonds, and I'm never going to complain about a piece of jewelry that thinks, you know, a few more diamonds is the way to go. But again, we've got these larger baguette stones here. In these little ties or ribbon ties, if you will, we've got the round diamonds. The carat weight, we have really just under 3/4 of a carat in the baguette diamonds. And then we've got the accent round diamonds. And again, the whole thing is set in 18 karat white gold. It is going to be a cuff style and it is open on the bottom. So you'll be able to just slide it on your wrist. The back end is just open. You'll slide it on. This bracelet can be yours at almost 50% off of retail, almost 50% off, $3,385. That is a steal. Easily 50% more if this were in a retail store. One other detail I want you to see, I'm gonna pull my sleeve up out of the way here. Look at the way they move. Isn't that cool? Again, just a fun little detail, kind of adds to the uniqueness of the piece. When we talk about jewelry, we talk about what makes something unique, what makes something stop and look, what makes it feel so decadent and exclusive to wear. Yes, it can be a higher carat weight. It can be a more rare stone. It can be a unique cut of a stone. There's a lot of things that contribute to making something truly unique, a true masterpiece. But sometimes it's also just a subtle shift in an expected detail. So you look at a bangle like this and you would just expect that all of the stones were anchored. That's just, you look at it, that's what your brain naturally jumps to. By adding an unexpected detail, we take an already beautiful, already exquisite piece of jewelry and you just add to the wow factor. That is the kind of design creativity that almost you can't put a price point on. I mean, truly, fortunately for you, we do put price points on it and they are 50, 60, 70, 80% off of what the retail world would put on for a price point, but it really is priceless when you think about it. Those subtle design features that make your piece truly one of a kind. We say one of a kind and we don't just mean, oh, it's the only one we have. We mean one of a kind. This bracelet has been made for you, brought to you, Gems, so we can bring it directly to you. We have still got the showstopper to come, but before we get to it, I want to show you another absolutely beautiful, such a unique design element, white gold bangle. So this bangle is 18 karat white gold. Again, it's a cuff style, so it's got this opening here, so it'll be easier to put on. We have almost 1.5 carat weight of diamond. These are round diamonds that are set on the end. Now, this style, it is very reminiscent of a very famous designer that we see a lot of, but is always doing mass-produced pieces. And what I love about this particular bracelet is we've taken a very trendy design, we've taken something that's a really trendy style and look, but we have made it exclusive. We have upped the ante, we have elevated the elegance and the beauty of it, making it a truly one-of-a-kind piece. Because let's be honest, sometimes we all want to be on trend. I mean, I probably do not worry about being on trend as much as I should, but we all sometimes want to be on a trend. We want to be part of what's going on. We want to be part of what's hot. But more than that, I always want to feel like what I have is exclusive. When I'm shopping for jewelry, I want to feel like a piece is unique to me. And so that is what we're doing with this particular piece. And I love that about it. Look at how this sparkles on my wrist. Now again, when we take in some of the design elements that have been thought through and that are contributing to what makes it so beautiful, so we've got this thickening at the end where we've got the diamonds, right? And they've all been just deep set. They're all 4-prong set, so almost creating a pave look, but the diamonds are quite large, so I'm not sure I would use that word to describe it. But pairing that with a thinner white gold band really draws attention, draws the eye to the focal point here on the ends. Now, could we have done this same bracelet with the thicker cuff going all the way around? Absolutely, and that would have been beautiful too. But again, I always love to talk about on this show, because the designers and the artisans and the craftsmen that we work with are exclusively straight to consumer, work with us here at Gems. I love to point out the way that they put such thought and intention into the pieces that we bring you. This is not something that's being mass produced. This is not something that they just cut corners to get it out quickly. This is something that every detail has been thought through and designed for a comfortable wear. This is extremely comfortable. It's extremely light on my wrist. It's got a little bit of a spring to it, so it's very easy, just kind of bounces and sits on my wrist. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that level of sparkle. And all of that is because of the intention and the thoughtfulness put into the design and the craftsmanship of how it is created. Now, again, I told you it's over 1.25 carats of diamonds. It is set in 18 karat white gold. And the price for this bangle is going to shock you. It is so much lower than I expected it to be. Easily 60% off what you would be paying in any retail store, because they are not able to go direct to consumer the way we are here at Gems. They are not working directly with some of the best manufacturers and jewelry designers in the world. So the price that we are able to give you on this bracelet, $4,282. $4,282, a fraction of what a bracelet like this should be. It can be yours for $4,282. Another great time to stop and remind you, you have now seen for a few pieces, the pricing on these pieces is mind-blowing. They are not only exquisite, beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces, but the pricing we are offering you is second to none. So you want to make sure wherever you are watching, YouTube, Gems Plus, that you are familiarizing yourself with the shopping interface and you are ready to scan, click, call, whatever it is you want to do. I also want to take this moment to remind you, if you are one of my YouTube viewers, I love that you are here. I am so glad, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel and make sure you have your notifications turned on. You want to watch these shows as close to when they go live, which is Thursdays at 3 o'clock, Sundays at 2, as you possibly can, simply because when the pieces are gone, they're gone, and there's only one of them. And I don't want anyone to ever miss out on the piece that sets their heart on fire. That is not to say you shouldn't try. I don't want to scare anyone, but if you can be subscribed and have your notifications turned on, that is absolutely going to help make sure that you have a better chance of securing these deals. It is time. It is showstopper time. And today's showstopper is quite literally that. Have you ever seen a bracelet that is over 14 carats of diamonds? No. It's not something, outside of my work, it's not something I can honestly say that I see a lot of, but I have it for you today. Are you ready? Just shy of 14¼ carats, almost 14¼ so over 14 carats of round diamonds. Each individually set in a 4-prong setting. The bracelet itself is all 18 karat white gold. Now, all you need in your closet is a little black dress, because this takes anything you're gonna wear to the next level. Now, is this a grocery shopping on a Tuesday afternoon bracelet? I guess it depends on who you ask. I would try, that's for sure. But this is a special occasion, but any occasion can be special when you're wearing a bracelet like this, right? Let's be honest, it kind of doesn't matter what you're doing. If you have this bracelet on, it is a special occasion. This immediately makes me think of date night. And again, I think perhaps because I'm not a big fashion girly. I talk about that a lot, which is great because it frees up a lot of room in our family budget for me to buy and justify buying jewelry. But I'm just not a fashion girly. I love the people that are, but that's just not my thing. But what I love is to look pulled together. I love to look elegant, and a piece of jewelry like this allows me to stick to my more traditional cuts, my more traditional silhouettes and colors and shapes and pieces of clothing. But when I'm going to something that really requires me to up the ante, this does it with quite literally the flick of a wrist. The flick of a wrist, and I can take the simplest, cutest little black cocktail dress and take it into something that is show-stopping, that is red carpet ready by putting on a bracelet like this. Also, we can't go without saying, look at the sparkle. That's the kind of sparkle that almost is silly, right? This is the kind of bracelet that I think we all had as teenagers, that we bought at, Claire's or a place like that for $20 and thought we were really cool. Is that just me? Am I the only person that did that? And walked around as if people really thought that that's what you were wearing on your wrist? Maybe that was just me. This is the real thing. It almost makes me giggle to share the price with you because it is so good. I am dying to know who is going to secure this bracelet, because if you are someone who has been looking for the perfect, kind of decadent, a little bit over the top, but not too much diamond bracelet, this is it. And my guess is you have cleared $20,000 to $30,000 more in your budget for said bracelet when you find it than what I'm about to tell you this bracelet costs. So are you ready for it? Again, just to reiterate, we've got over 14, almost 14¼ carat of round diamonds. Each one of the diamonds being fairly substantial in size. So this is not a pave or micro pave. This is individual diamonds with a significant surface space, individually set in a 4-prong setting, 18 karat white gold, and it can be yours for $33,929. Not even $35,000 is crazy to me. Under $35,000 is absolutely insane for a bracelet like this. Under $60,000 or $70,000, quite frankly, is insane for a bracelet like this. That is absolutely what I would have been budgeting if I was shopping for something like this. But oh no, today it can be yours for $33,929. I want you to hustle. And the minute you get this bracelet, I want you to snap a picture of it on your wrist, and I want you to tag me on Instagram. It's at elizabeth.maneri. I want to see this beauty on your wrist. I want to see it sparkling. Again, today's showstopper can be yours for $33,929. That goes down as the steal of the century. So I get to curate all of these collections that I bring to you every Thursday and every Sunday. But I also a little bit forget sometimes what's in each of them. I mean, I put a lot of thought into what goes into each collection, but then I kind of forget. It gets busy, I start filming. And then they pass me these pieces and it's like seeing them for the first time. And I can only imagine that's what it feels like for you. You see it, you love it, you order it, it comes in the mail, but then you open the box and it is like every Christmas morning meets every first day of vacation, meets your wedding morning, all at the same time. And the angels sing and the box lights up and your heart kind of stops beating, your palms get a little bit sweaty. That's how I feel every time they pass me a piece of jewelry. And it just happened for me again with this bracelet. This bracelet is over 3.5 carats of baguette cut diamonds, and it is set in 18 karat white gold. Now, again, when we talk about thoughtful design and details, I had a ring in last show, so go back and look if you haven't seen it, but that did a similar overlapping design. And so I was talking a little bit about that, and I want to talk about it again because one thing that most people don't realize, when we do a design like this, it is not only eye-catching. Of course, anytime we do something different, it draws the eye in, it brings attention. The best part about an overlapping style and design like this is it allows for more stones. And I don't know about you, but I'm sort of like, the bigger the hair, the better. The more sprinkles on your ice cream, the better. The more stones I add to a bracelet or a ring or a necklace or whatever it is, the better. So when you think about it, had we just made this and kind of connected it at once, we would have lost these 3 stones right here. So thank you to the designer of this bracelet for giving us these 3 extra baguette diamonds because again, it took the carat weight to over 3.5 carats of diamond. It also, I think, makes it a really easy, almost a like driving down the road, throw it on. Not that I'm encouraging people to be accessorizing while they're driving down the road, but it's a little bit of a, you can throw it on with one hand, which as a mom, just a woman who's always busy doing 52,000 things at once, often running out the door while on her cell phone and making a note to herself and kicking the door closed behind me and all the other things. Sometimes it's nice to be able to do something with one hand. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but the way this is designed, it really allows for one hand put on, which is great. Again, you're going to get the whole, really 3-4 extra stones than you would get, which is bringing the carat weight over 3.5. Now these are baguette cuts, which is always a really unique, beautiful cut. One thing I don't think a lot of people know is that it's actually one of the more difficult cuts that you will ever see in a diamond. So baguette, emerald, these are all cuts that are really difficult because of how clean the lines and the faceting have to be. And if any facet is off by 1/100th of a degree, it is going to completely throw off all of the light refraction, making essentially the entire stone kind of worthless, which is terrible. So it is an extremely difficult cut. It takes a very skilled artisan to be able to do that cut and to do it well. So to have a bracelet of it with this many is really incredible. It really speaks to a lot of time and intention and detail being put into this bracelet. Another thoughtful design in terms of wear is that the bottom of this bracelet does not have stones. So it is not going all the way around. Of course, where the baguettes are, it's going to be taller. It sits a little bit higher, but it is flatter on the white gold on the bottom, so it's thinner. I have friends that can wear the most over-the-top large jewelry all day long and aren't bothered by it. They don't bother it. I am not that person. I am borderline guy hard on my jewelry. I don't know why. I don't mean to be. I love it, but I just am. I am just always moving. I do everything with my hands, from talking to, everything I'm doing. I'm always going, I'm always doing something. So that is something I think about when I'm purchasing everyday jewelry. Special occasion pieces, doesn't matter. I buy whatever I want. But when I think about something for everyday, which is what I think this could be, I do like to think about how it's going to wear. And so I want to point out that detail for you, that in this particular piece, this is something that you would be able to wear every day. You could wear this to a bar workout class, and this is not going to get in the way. It's going to sit almost flush against your wrist on the bottom. It's not going to catch. There's really nothing that's raised at all. So again, we've got over 3.5 carats of baguette cut diamonds. It is all set in 18 karat white gold. And the price on this bracelet, part of what makes it an amazing everyday purchase, is this bracelet can be yours for $12,399. $381. Over 3.5 carats of baguette cut diamond, so one of your most difficult cuts of diamond, all executed and cut perfectly. I mean, look at the sparkle, look at the color, and it can be yours for $12,381. You are gonna wanna move fast on this one. I have been waiting to show you this piece for a couple of reasons. One, if you have followed me in this show for any length of time, if you follow me on Instagram, again, at Elizabeth.Maneri, come on over, join the party, let's be besties. You know that this combines essentially all of my favorite things, and it combines them all in what should be and would reasonably be a 5-figure price point that it is not. It is a 4-figure price point that I'm bringing it to you for. And that is my favorite thing in the world, is to give you those kind of steals on pieces that I know are just absolutely magnificent. So this particular bracelet, couple of things going on that just make me swoon. First of all, we've got rose gold, 18 karat rose gold to be specific. And as I talk about all the time, I take a lot of pride in saying I am the OG rose gold lover. I designed a wedding set that was rose gold long before anyone thought it was cool. In fact, people thought I was crazy, told me I was going to regret it. We are, what are we, 16, 15? I don't know. Hopefully he's not watching years, going strong. I don't regret a second of it, but rose gold is really having a moment, and it has been for a few years now. And I think that is wonderful because it is such a beautiful, such a unique shade of gold. The warmth and that pink undertone is absolutely beautiful. So we've got rose gold. We've also got pink diamonds, white and pink diamonds in this bracelet. And what I love that has been done so well is that the pink diamonds, I think the combination of them being mixed with the rose gold and just the subtlety, the perfect shade that they have selected mixed with the white diamonds that are of course naturally reflecting a slightly pinker hue because they're being set in rose gold. You almost can't tell which stones are pink and which are white. I mean, you can when you look at it, but at first glance, you almost don't even notice. And that kind of subtlety, that mystique when making a piece of jewelry or when taking in a piece of jewelry is magic. That is the kind of detail that brings your eye in and you find yourself lingering and staring because you can't put your finger on what is so beautiful. You can't put your finger on why you can't look away, but you can't. That is the kind of detail that you're getting here. But I will point it out to you, you have your white diamonds right here across the center. So you've got essentially a bar of them. And again, they are being set in the rose gold. So they are giving a warmer, almost a pinkish hue in the way they are playing with light in this particular bracelet. But then going all the way around this open concept design, you've got your pink diamond. Now, the other thing that is, of course, I guess speaking to the obvious, very, very beautiful is this design. And this is very unique, this sort of abstract open shape, very unique. This is definitely lending itself to a modern, maybe even a mid-century modern, kind of an Art Deco vibe for sure, but then pairing it with something as classic and timeless as white and pink diamonds, and then adding the rose gold element is such a great juxtaposition. So it's really creating a one-of-a-kind, really beautiful piece. This is something that you will go to time and again. This is the perfect, when I think about this in the summer and I think of just a gauzy kind of casual sundress, I think of a maxi skirt and a tank top with some beautiful sandals. If you have any vacations planned over the summer and you know you're going to be doing a night or two, a nice dinner on the beach, maybe you're taking a cruise and you know you're going to be doing some of the fancier nights or some nicer dinners, this would be perfect for an evening where you aren't necessarily going to dress up, right? Like we're not going to do heels and pantyhose and, you know, all the things that we do when we get dressed fancy at other times. You're definitely going to keep it lighter, airier, a little more fun, but you want to up the elegance. This would be so perfect. And the idea of this rose gold on like that slightly tanned hue that we all take on in the summer, regardless of your skin tone, oh my heavens, I just think it would be absolutely magic. Now, I promised you when we started the show that the price point should be a high 5-digit, and it is not, which just blows my mind and makes me love it even more. I am bringing this piece to you today over 2.5 carat of pink diamond. 2.5 carat of pink diamond. I did not even hear about pink diamonds until J-Lo got one for an engagement ring. That's how rare and exotic and special they are. We have over 1/4 carat in the white diamond, so going across that center bar. So again, now we're coming up on 3 carats total diamond weight, over 2.5 of which are pink diamonds, extremely rare, extremely hard to find, very, 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 very expensive when we do find them, which is not easy. I am bringing this bracelet to you today for under $10,000, $9,247. That is a run, don't walk price for this bracelet. To be able to own over 2.5 carats of pink diamond, almost 3 carat total diamond weight, in this beautiful of a piece, this one of a kind piece that you are going to wear on repeat this summer and all year round for $9,247 is a steal. Let's go ahead and look at this on. I love the way it takes up this surface space on your wrist. I mean, that is here to take a statement. This is a moment right here. This is an absolute moment. And I am going to go ahead and point out, because I just had a panic moment putting this on myself. It's actually a really clever design for putting it on, but this little part right here opens. So clever, because obviously you're not going to be able to, twist or open this any further because of all the diamonds. But it did give me a heart attack, so I want to make sure you know that that's what it does. What a clever design. So again, right here, this little piece is going to open up, allow you to take it on and off. But then also closes to make sure it is very secure. Because when you are walking around with over 2.5 carats of pink diamond on your wrist, almost 3 carats total diamond weight, you want to make sure it stays there. That is not something you want to play around with. So before we go into our next piece, I am going to stop and I'm going to give a little shout out to the pieces that you're seeing on my finger. I get a lot of comments and questions and DMs on Instagram about the pieces that I wear. Yes, everything I wear is gems. No, they are not always exclusive to my shows. A lot of what I wear is, but not all of it. So you definitely want to be checking out Gems, and all of my friends, the other co-hosts, they show beautiful pieces like what you are seeing me wear. They're also selling those pieces at one-of-a-kind pricing. You want to be sure to tune in and never miss a moment of the shows I'm doing here on the Luxe Jewelry Edit, because you will see many of the pieces that I wear appear in future episodes. So I do want to point that out because I get asked that a lot. We have 2 more pieces that I want to show you today. They are both absolutely incredible. This next one really caught my eye when I was pulling my pieces together for this show because it is so exotic. And so here's the thing. I try to be careful when I curate my shows. I try to keep in mind price points. Some shows I try to gear towards different price points. Sometimes I try to keep a variety. There's a lot of things that go through my mind. I try to appeal to different metals, different styles, all of the things. Sometimes, like a piece such as this one, I look at it and I just think it's beautiful. I don't really care what it costs. People need to see this. Somebody needs this piece in their jewelry box. It is, truly defines one of a kind. And then I find out the price and it is a fraction. In this case, like 80% less than what this should be, what I was expecting based on looking in retail shops. And then I know for sure it needs to go in my show because that is exactly the kind of deal that I want to pass on to you. So looking at this piece, we have over 2 carats of diamond. Now these are round prong set diamonds. Again, because there's so many of them, this is a good problem to have. It is easy to think that this is some sort of pave or micro pave, and it is not. This is over 2 carats of individually set 4 prong set style diamonds. And it is set in 18 karat yellow gold. But now what I want to also show you is the detail. Yes, nobody loves stones more than me. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna own that title. You will not find a person on planet Earth or beyond, quite frankly, that loves stones more than me. However, beautiful metalwork like this deserve to be recognized because this is incredible. Holding its own in terms of what is magnificent about this bracelet is this metalwork. Because this has to be done by hand. This is not something that we can just mass produce or stamp with a machine. Look at that. Look at that detail. Look at that texture. And I say it all the time when we are looking at a piece of jewelry, when we are trying to I try to pinpoint, what is it that makes something unique? What makes something exquisite? Because we look at it and we know how our response is sort of emotional. We just think, that's so beautiful. Oh, I love it. Oh, it takes my breath away. All very emotional responses. But what is it that we're really taking in that is making us feel that way? Many times it's stone. Oftentimes it can be even large carat weight of stone, right? Like you think about a ring like this that I'm wearing. clearly the size of that beautiful stone is catching your eye. But that is not always the case. There are so many ways to create something that truly takes your breath away, brings your eye in. And detailed metal work like what you're seeing here is another great way to do that. We also can see as we go around, so we've got these sort of pear-shaped ends, and we've gone with a very large beaded mill grain framing around. So it kind of sets the diamonds apart, almost creating one large diamond visually here at the ends. So it looks like you've got this one large stone that is actually, of course, lots and lots and lots of small stones, but by setting it apart in that framework, essentially, kind of makes it its own shape, makes it its own stone in that regard. This metalwork just kind of takes my breath away, truly. And I, again, am generally a gemstone girl, but you cannot deny the beauty of that kind of detail. And then even the inside, I want to show you under here. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Now this is another thoughtful detail when it comes to how something's going to wear. This is obviously a slightly heavier bangle. So especially if I'm going to contrast it to the pieces I showed you in the beginning, those two bangles that were, those are possibly the lightest, and then this would be the heaviest that I have in the show. So very, very different in contrast. This is definitely a heavier piece. It's going to be heavier on, but because of the way they've designed it, again, thoughtful and intentional design, including how we wear it, not just how it looks. We've put these cutouts down here. We've made it a bit hollow, and so that is lightening it. It's also allowing our skin to breathe underneath it. I talk a lot about summertime and how hard it can be, especially in Charleston, the heat and humidity. I find myself, I want to wear very little, like in terms of jewelry, layers of clothing, etc. But that kind of thoughtful design and detail allows you to wear something heavier and larger like this piece without having the problem you think you would. This is how it's going to look on your wrist. It's so beautiful. One thing they have done extremely well is the way they have weighted this piece. You are not going to have to worry about it falling. Sometimes when you have a really heavy accent on the top of a bangle, it can slip and slide, but even when I turn my wrist, see how it stays on there? That feature is possibly my favorite. That is one of my biggest pet peeves when a bangle, it's always flipping underneath, and then the accent part always ends up underneath my wrist, and it drives me batty. This is doing the exact opposite. I can literally turn my wrist and it still stays on top. So that's a really important design detail to think through. Also, just to show you how it opens, it completely opens like this. This is your clasp. So it doesn't bend because, again, it's a much thicker, heavier metal than to be able to do that, but it has this hinge right here. This bracelet, over 2 carats in round diamond, set in 18 karat yellow gold, can be yours today for $16,762. $16,762 is a steal for this beautiful bracelet. I cannot wait to see who snags this. I love to see not just the pieces themselves, but I love to see how you end up styling them in your everyday life. So if you are the person who gets this beautiful bracelet, or really any others from today, or any show for that matter, be sure you post on Instagram and tag me at Elizabeth.Maneri. That somehow brings us to our final piece. And I know you think I forgot the Abigail pick of the day. I did not. I have it right here for you. I thought it would actually be a great way to close the show today. If you have been following my show or my social media or anything for any length of time, you know I have the sweetest, very stylish 7.5-year-old girl who loves nothing more than to see the pieces that I'm sharing and to pick her favorite and tell you why she thinks it's something everyone would want to have. Most of the time at this point, y'all guess without even me telling you what it would be, and you know exactly why she would love it, but it is still one of my favorite things to share. The Abigail pick of the day today is combining multi-shaped diamonds, some of which are, drumroll please, in the shape of a heart. So yes, I don't think I need to tell you why Abigail picked it, but her reasoning was the bracelet is love. And it helps you spread love and give love and feel love. That is what she told me. And I love it. So perfect. Now these are not, I do want to point out, because I think this is, again, just a beautiful detail. These are not heart-shaped diamonds when you look at them up closely. They are actually 2 oval and a round diamond that are just kind of set together beautifully in this setting. How pretty and how thoughtful is that? You would think it's just the heart-shaped diamond, and it's not. It is such a beautiful detail. And why is that unique? Why is that special? Why did they choose to do it that way? Well, partially, I don't know. I didn't design the piece, but I can tell you why I love it. Because by making it multiple stones instead of just one heart-shaped stone, which would still be beautiful, we've taken two shapes, oval and round, that are well known for a high level of light refraction. What is light refraction? I feel like this is the quiz I give you every episode, but how a stone plays with light is the sparkle. When we say the sparkle or when we say the brilliance of a stone, that is essentially what we are referring to. So by taking stones that are known for a high level of light refraction, pairing them together in a way that we know anytime stones are with one another or paired next to one another, we're also getting a unique light refraction because they are now bouncing the light off of one another's facets. So we put three of them together, and it is just going to add so much more sparkle in this case. And so you've got these hearts and you've got all this sparkle going around. And then here you have got baguette cut. And again, instead of just one big stone, you've got multiple in here. So they've essentially used the 18 karat white gold to create the shape of the stone, if you will, that they want you to visually see. But then they have gone in and created that shape using a variety of actual stone shapes. That just blows my mind. I thought that kind of attention to detail, that level of just willingness to put that level of detail and thought and the perfection of the cut on each of these stones in order to make that come together, I truly don't even think I could share the level that that takes. But just know that takes a level of artistry and craftsmanship that your mass-produced jewelers just don't have. You would absolutely not be able to get a piece like this from a jewelry manufacturer that is mass-producing. They simply would not be able to put that level of detail or that high caliber of expertise. And then I want to show you the clasp. It's got a push clasp right here. So that's going to make sure it's nice and secure on your wrist. It's easy enough to do. I've done it multiple times, but it is going to be nice and secure on your wrist. As usual, the Abigail pick of the day lives up to its reputation for being unique, absolutely beautiful. I mean, talk about, you are never going to bump into somebody that has anything even remotely close to this. You've got 3 3/4 carats of diamond among the different cuts and shapes here. 3 3/4 carats. That is a lot of diamond, and you have it set in 18 karat white gold. Most importantly, you have it set in a way that is so unique. If you are someone who just collecting jewelry is your hobby, it's something you kind of are known for, your one-of-a-kind pieces, your unique taste in jewelry. You know, some people collect art, some people collect cars. For me, let me collect something that adds a bit of sparkle to my day and to my neck or my wrist or my fingers. So if you are someone like that, I can assure you, you need this piece in your collection. In fact, if you are that person, you've probably already called or clicked, and I haven't even told you the price yet, because you know this is just not something you are going to find every day, almost irrelevant of the price. But in the case of the Luxe Jewelry Edit exclusive pricing, you can get this bracelet for $14,547. $14,547. Like I said, I know every jewelry collector or the person who's just sort of known for their unique jewelry collection has probably already clicked or called before I even got to that price. But are you kidding me with that price? And sadly, that brings today's show to a close. I always tell you, if you do not want the party or the sparkle to stop, go ahead and find me on Instagram at elizabeth.maneri. I love talking all things style, all things sparkle. And I also love sharing a little bit of behind the scenes of what my life is like here at Gems and all of the beautiful pieces that I get to show you. If you have any questions on anything I show, I'm also always happy to answer those questions in the DMs or in the comments or otherwise. If there was any piece that you fell in love with today, I can't encourage you enough to call, to click, to scan immediately. The majority of the pieces that I'm showing you, they do not last long, especially because of the prices. And I will leave you with my favorite parting thought. You will never regret the beautiful piece of jewelry that is in your jewelry box. You will always regret the deal that got away. I'll see you next time.